Hey there, this is Andrew. I'm bringing you a walkthrough of my fourth matchup from the KFPL Last Chance Qualifier Adaptive Tournament. Um, this one is looking at this one I was playing against Evandro, and the deck that he played is a Worlds Collide deck with kind of a fun piece setup. He has a Buzzle, some kill stuff, right? With Lethal Mayhem, Festering Touch, Draining Touch, Blood Shard Imp, an Infernus, an Obsidian Forge. And then in the shadows, a couple of hit and runs with a Ronnie, a Hawk, Gambling Den, Chain Gang Subtle Chain, and Yancy Gang, and two Dust Runners. That's kind of fun. And then probably in my mind the most interesting house here is Star Alliance, where he has stealth mode. That's always worth noting. And then General Order 24 is one of those cards that really changes how you have to play the game while it's out. And yeah, I'm glad that I've played decks with General Order 24. I actually have a deck with General Order 24 and two Captain Val Jerichos. Very fun. Yeah, so that will show up in the match. You'll see the General Order 24 anyway, and then as I mentioned, he has a Val, and then other good stuff. Two Grays, Walls, Kirby from Countersuit, Force Field. We both have Encounter Suits. So that's fun. So lots of fun stuff there. Yeah, it's a solid, fun-looking Worlds Collide. All right, let's get it off. All right, so he's going first. And they did stream this one on KFPL, so if you want to watch better commentary, you can probably go see that with them. Getting my coffee in while I'm doing this. Deal with it. All right. So this is an okay opening hand. There's no like solid story about exactly what we're building, but we get Golden Spiral out. We can do Neutron Shark to deal with any early problems. So I'm happy with that. Obsidian Forge comes down turn one for him, and I do the Sarian Healing Strike for the Amber, put red ore on the table, and then Spiral. Draining Touch to kill my Retro Gallon, puts out Spider. I have a good Logos hand here. I have that Shark, the Hapsis, and also Sanitation Engineer. So I put them on the table. Neutron Shark, I'm always pretty happy to kill the Sanitation Engineer, and then I kill his Obsidian Forge, leaving Spider on the table, and then hit a Logos card on the first card. So that's all that gets blown up. Drawn to some more Logos cards here, as well as a pretty okay Saurian hand. Although, that Phalanx Strike, I'm going to be happier if I can fire it with more things on the table. Although it could kill both his creatures right now. But in any case, I go Logos, play Minigroup Think Tank. I hadn't seen that he played an Into the Night, so I wanted to fight with the Hapsis, kill the Kirby, but I wasn't able to because he played Into the Night. That was just an oversight on my part, so I reaped with it. That's not optimal, but that's what I could do, you know, and I gotta pay better attention. I missed that, so oh well. He goes Star Alliance, plays Ingram, wards his Kirby to kill my Wormhole Technician, which is a good insight. gray. Uh-oh, he's starting to get a big board. Now, if I go Saurian here, I could kill a couple things that way. But now my first intuition was to actually fight the Hapsis into the spider, but instead what I did is I fought the mini group think tank into the spider, killing it, and then that put his 3 Starlance creatures in a row so I could kill one of them with the group think tank. And then I used Hapsis to kill the Ingram. That leaves him with just gray on the table. And then I played Edai and Archives Calvin. Now that means I didn't make any amber that turn, but I got board control, and with this style of deck, I think that is often the better priority. Okay, he goes Dees, uses Festering Touch to pop the ward on my Hapsis and do a damage to my Edai. Plays Infernus. I only have 2 amber and only 1 amber card, so he purges the Phalanx Strike and the Neutron Shark. That's a bummer. All right, I go Saurian. Broodon is going to protect the Edai. Then I put Odoak on the other side of the Broodon and play Phalanx Strike and kill his Information Officer Gray. And I don't bother to Exalt because at this point I don't want to put more amber on the table that could eventually go to him. So I made that call. And now you can see Starlight's hand that I draw into here is basically a 1-turn Voltron build, right? I can dump 4 upgrades, 2 of which are Light of the Archon, and then an Encounter Suit and a Calvin onto a creature, and just have a very big creature that is going to be very hard to kill. And all of his action-based ways to get my cards off the table become relevant once the Encounter Suit is on a card. Now, he just put out Yancey Gang and Chain Gang, so that's scary, except I have Odoak on the table already. So, now, normally with Gray, I would want to archive something like City State Interest, but here I thought I would want to use it very soon because I have 2 Saurian creatures on the table. He was at 4 amber, so it's probably a good time soon to use City State Interest, so I kept that in my hand and archived Wormhole Technician instead. And indeed, he kills my Broodon with Beastbane. Lethal Mayhem kills some stuff, kills one of his creatures as well, his Subtle Gang, Chain Gang. He plays another Infernus, purges my Edai and my Phalanx Strike. I mean, those are tools I'm sad to lose, but it is what it is. I go Saurian, use the Odoak to kill Edoram, because Edoram is actually a scary card against the Encounter Suit. Play out my Legionary, play out Retro Gallum, and then use Phalanx Strike. And this time I don't mind. I still didn't exalt anything. Exalting the Odoak would have made sense, but in this case I did not do it. Legionary warded itself, and then the City State Interest captures 4 of his amber, 1 onto each of my creatures. So he's left with a Yancey Gang that can't steal, so it's just a big body. I did I did 4 damage to the Dendrix because this way he can't use it to make me discard a card, and maybe it would be fine to discard a card. I just didn't really want to lose one. I need to discard a card anyway because he used a Subtle Chain on me, and I lose Helmsman's Spears, which is always sad to lose that. But it is what it is. And I think I go Starlines here anyway because I have that quad recorder, and with Quintrino Flux I should be able to do good work. I target my own Tricerian Legionary with 5 power, but is warded, so it lives, but that kills his Yancey Gang and his Dendrix, and then I kill the 4 on his side, the Infernus. So good value out of Quintrino Flux there, and then I play Medic Ingram and ward my Retro Gallum. So I have a lot of his amber on my creatures now, but he is at 5 after playing Lay of the Land. I'm at 4, so he's still ahead on amber, and that's not even if you count the like 4 amber that's on my creature. But with this particular style of deck, it's kind of again, put stuff on Odoac, we protect the Odoac, and okay. Okay, Information Officer Gray comes down. He can use the Val now because it's in the center. He uses Gray to archive a gambling den and then plays a Buzzle. Buzzle's not a fun off-house play. That's kind of a bummer, but I think he empties his hand here, so it works. His Navigator Ali. Force field on Jay Vinda. All right. So he's at 6 now, although that's not threatening a key because I have the Quadricorder on Odoac. I have a nice Star Alliance hand that would be dump. I can't. I'm not going to actually make progress killing stuff, which is a bummer. So I put out Morpheus, Brain to capture 2, put out Spears, and then Reap with Medic Ingram and board the Legionary because all these creatures on the board that suddenly that's an attack vector for Odoac, right? And I didn't want that to become a problem, so warding the Legionary just gives a little more protection for the Odoac from the problem of creatures fighting it. All right, and draw into a nice Logos hand with 2 Twin Bolt emissions, which could be pretty good work. And at this point, I'm thinking through, okay, what? If I do the Twin Bolt emissions, I can like kill the Gray, kill the Javinda, do some serious damage to, damage the Ali for 2 or something. It'll actually turn out better than that, but Andrew goes Star Alliance again, puts in countersuit on Val and plays Binding Irons with Val Instance, which wards the Val, then uses Val to kill my Frame, uses Navigator Ali to kill my Morpheus, and I believe uses Gray to kill my Speed. So he's taken down my board, but the end of this is that Ali and Gray each have damage, and then he plays near walls as well. So at this point, this is just way too difficult of a setup for my Logos to not strike. So we are going to go Logos. We can kill both these 2 power elusives, which is a really good deal, and then the Gray and the Ali, because they're already damaged, we finish them off as well. So I get to kill 4 creatures with 2 Twin Bolt emissions, and then put out a Quant, Wormhole Technician, and Daughter. Now it does trigger the encounter suit on his Val, so Val gets a ward, but still this gets me back into a far ahead start to the board. I have a good Saurian draw into my hand now with a Stomp and a Phalanx Strike. That's going to be very good board control, but I also have a nice Logos board. It'd be hard to justify going Star Alliance with just an Ingram on the board and 1 card in hand. All right, so there's a Blood Shard Imp. He now has access to play an off-house card because of the Val, and his Draining Touch, killing my Medic Ingram. Will definitely not going Star Alliance at this point. Uses Buzzle to pop the ward off of Tricerian Legionary, and then plays Into the Night, which I noticed this time, so I'm not going to be able to fight. But that's okay, because by going Saurian, I can not need to fight. Phalanx Strike is really good for getting through encounter suit, because when you play it, it triggers the ward effect, but then you can deal 2 instances of damage off that 1 play. So I was able to kill the Val that way, and then use Stomp to kill the Blood Shard Imp. Remember, I can't read or I can't fight at that point, and then Reap out. He goes Star Alliance and plays just 2 cards: Lay of the Land, and then General Order 24. So that is on the board now. That's going to be a problem. Now I think I made a I'm going to call it a suboptimal bet, because I should have just killed the Logos, and then I could have used Quintrino Flux to kill Retor and Buzzle, and then hit General Order 24 would have gone away on his turn. I did not do it that way, which I regret immensely. So that was just a misplay on my part, and because of that, I kind of don't want to drop out all my Star Alliance stuff. So I end up going Logos, getting a couple of reaps in, and want to build Buzzle. So that was a really optimal turn because voice on the General Order 24. I know better. I should do better on that, but I didn't. That's how it goes sometimes. All right, so I have 2 keys now with 2 amber. He's at 7 amber, no keys, and that doesn't even really threaten to keep that quad recorder. And he does a sequence with a Ronnie and a hit and run Ronnie, but he's not stealing because of that Odoac. So having a giant Odoac is really paying off. So I do go Star Alliance this time, get out Morpheus, get out Brain, capturing 2, Ray, archiving 1 because I only had 1 non-Star Alliance card, put Spears on the board, and I decided not to use the Flux because I did not want to kill Morpheus and the Spears. All right, so Vendrix comes out. Now here, Evandra says he misclicked, but I'm not actually sure. Oh, because he played the Gleeful Mayhem. Okay, really wouldn't have mattered. But yes, I totally get that. Bummer. Now, Gambling Den, it's a 50-50 shot, so I decided no, I don't want to do that. Well, I've drawn back into 2 Twin Bolt emissions again. Wow. They're cycling fast. And he concedes at that point. It was very reasonable. I mean, under those conditions, that was a reasonable thing to do. Now, here's an example, I think, of where it really paid to know what things to not let your deck do in adaptive, right? Because he's now playing what I think is fairly clearly the stronger deck. Lucky. Get him playing first, like we had hoped. This is a pretty good opening hand, right? 4 Shadows cards. To the Night, probably not so great right now, but it's not bad. And the other one's very nice. I wish I had a way to kill that Helmsman right off the bat, because that can get to be a problem if he's able to just start cycling cards. Not so good. I play Gambling Den, and he uses it right off the bat. Doesn't hit, but it doesn't cost him anything right then. So I know putting Gambling Deck out is a liability potentially, but I also see there's like Lay of the Land, Ollie, so maybe it'll be worth it. Ah, man, and then between Stomp and Phalanx Strike, he is able to blow up my whole board. So it doesn't mean that there's Amber stuck on his creatures, but no deck for me. I use Draining Touch, can't do anything anyway. With Infernus, I end up purging his Phalanx Strike and City State Interest. So he only loses 1 Amber. I could have purged the Stomp, but if get around to the late game. I don't want City's interest still hanging around. Okay, we go to he gets a bad hit on the gambling den, and I think, unless you have a really good chance, it's hard to justify going gambling den. Although I guess he only had one, so losing one isn't so bad. That's cool. He goes Logos and plays Neutron Shark, killing Dendrix, and known Helmsman Spears, and then finishes wiping my board, basically my whole board, and the gambling den. He's left with a sanitation engineer and a Tricerian legionary and a gambling den. I go Starlance. I get Val out and play Fester in Touch with it, put an encounter suit and a force field on the Val, play stealth mode. This is a pretty nice Val that I have going on here now. Not going to be easy still, for sure. And I'm at 7, so I'm threatening key 1. He goes Saurian, playing Odoak, which captures 1, puts Brood on auxiliary out. So Odoak is between Legionary and Auxiliary, so it's very protected. And then he uses Tricerian Legionary to fight Val once, and then use Golden Spiral on Broodon to kill the Val. All right. I go Starlands again, though, because at this point I have a 2/2/2 hand. But with the gray, I can archive something and start to get out of this threat. So play the Ali, see what's coming up next. Play the gray, archive something that I didn't see with Ali, housewise. And now I archived Duskrunner. So now I'm getting into Dees, and I have 4 Dees cards. That's good. I did forge a key. I have 0 amber left over, and he just got to 7 amber, which is scary. But now that I have 0 amber, I might as well try Gambling Den, and it doesn't hit. So, oh well. So Dees. Lethal Mayhem kills the Sanitation Engineer and the Odoak, because I don't want him getting to build a Voltron Odoak like I did. Beastbane kills the Broodon Auxiliary, and then I drop Edoram and Bloodshard Imp on the table. He's able to forge a key for 6, leaving him with 1. So at this point, where 1 key has 1 amber and I have 4, I forge the red key, which means that I have a speed advantage on my side now. Doesn't actually mean that, in case anybody's watching and doesn't know. It's just a mental thing. Okay, so he goes Logos, plays 2 Wormhole Technicians, and a daughter. Do I use Gambling Den? No, at this point I don't. Chief Engineer Wallace gets us back a force field. That's cool. Lay of the Land. Ooh, I want General Order 24. So I get General Order 24. I use Kirby to play Subtle Chain, knocking Edai out of his hand. That's a really good hit. And then play the General Order 24. So he either has to kill the Tricerian Legionary, which will give me back 2 amber, putting me all the way at 9, or kill all 3 of his Logos creatures. He chooses to kill the Legionary. Now he did, so he's at 1 amber. I was at check with 7, but now that he killed the Broodon, I'm at 9, which is a kill. He did get the memo, though, about how to deal with General Order 24, and I'm sure if Evandro is playing this deck adaptive, this wasn't the first time. I'm sure he's played against General Order 24 many times, knew what to do, but it's so clever. I want to pause and describe it, walk through it really quick. It's actually a very clever move. The problem he has is I had two 2s, a 3, and a 4. Actually, 3 2s. No, I had 2 2s, a 3, and a 4. He has 2 3s. So, and Kirby is one of the high value creatures to kill, but he has 2. So he takes Light of the Archons and he puts it on Kirby, turning Kirby into a 4. And then he uses Quintrino Flex, choosing Daughter on his side, which kills my 2/2 power creatures, and Kirby on my side, which kills itself because it's 4 now, and the Edoram, which is also 4. So really, really high value out of that. I just felt like it's a play worth calling out. Light of the Archons, you usually don't think about using that way, but with Quintrino Flux, it's possible to do stuff like that. Okay. So then he plays Frame, capturing 1, and then Spears, leaving me on 8. Oh, and then Ingram, wording Spears. So I do get to forge 2 Amber left over, but I have to kill the General Order 24. And my hope now is, look, I just need to race and get ahead. So I play Ronnie, I play Hit and Run, and pop the ward on the Spears, play Ronnie again. So I just stole 2, play out J Benda, and I put a Dusk Runner on both Ronnie and J Benda. So I'm at 4 now, and he was at 5, so I stole him down to but I'm a little worried because, again, if he gets some of these things out that can off of possibility of forging, he has board state to start to get ahead very quickly. So he goes Star Alliance, plays Encounter Suit onto Frayne, plays Gray, and is going to get to archive something. I'm glad the E-Die is discarded. That was a pretty lucky hit. Plays Calvin, uses Frayne to kill Ronnie, and captures an Amber onto Frayne itself. Creeps with Ingram and heals and wards the Frayne. Creeps with Spears, and doesn't discard anything. Okay, so I'm at 5 now. Such a big board. This is not good. Just got to race. Just got to race. So I'm going to go Shadows. I'm going to use Hawk to kill the Golden Spiral. I'm going to Reap with the J Venda. I'm going to use Hit and Run something. Not going to be good. But killing the Golden Spiral brings me up to 7. When I Reap with J Venda, because it has the Dusk Runner, it'll bring me up to 9. And then I can plink a damage onto a creature. Probably should have done the Ingram here, but I did the Spears because I can't math. Do 2 damage with the Hit and Run, but it's power 3 because of that Light of the Archons. A fact which I acknowledge here. He does get to forge this time. He forges for 6 because he gets a Gambling Den hit. He has 1 card in the deck, so of course. I last turn actually had 1 card in the deck and got a Gambling Den hit that way. So it actually helped both of us, but him it helped drop right into forging. However, so he goes Star Alliance here and uses Spears, which makes me think, why is Spears still alive? Oh, it's because that Light of the Archons, and I forgot. So, but at this point I can relax a little bit because he gets to capture 1 with the Frayne, and he can get Quad Recorder, which will make my key cost 8. But he does not have a way. So here's where I'll just say, I think maybe if he had discarded more with that last turn, it would have helped him cycle through, and he would have had maybe had a shot at drawing something more useful, Retor or something like that. But also, he had gotten through most of that stuff early, which is not what you want. So yeah, that was a great game and a great match. I definitely feel like I got lucky on the I got a good draw on the second game, but I also was able to effectively control the stuff that helped me win the first, right? I made sure I made sure Odoak did not stay on the board. I made sure that he did not have. I didn't make sure, but I tried to reduce the options he had for amber control and boosting key cost and stuff. The eat I hit was just luck, but other than that, I did try to make sure that the amber control options were staying thin. It still got scary toward the end there, but wasn't able to. And actually, the uh, the golden spiral, killing that was pretty important because it meant that he couldn't with the spears on a Saurian turn, which draw into Retor Gallums that he could play, which would have held me off. So it was a very close second game, but having that edge of knowing what will triple my deck helped me out. So very good game, Evandro. Very good matchup. That was really a good run for the money. And that puts me at 4-0 going into round 5, which I will bring you later on. Thanks for watching, and hope you enjoyed. Get out there and forge some keys.